Hey, it's the Neighborhood Potato coming at you with another installment of the AX10s. This one they called the ARTR. It came in orange and green. I like the orange one because I already had a green one. I bought this thing when they came out new back in 2009 or 2010 when the ARTR came out. The first installment of my AX10 series was all original. Actually, I rebuilt it from all original parts that I had laying around. This one has been modified, and this one used to be my loaner anytime we went out somewhere, and I'd give this one to friends of mine to drive around. This one's been modified, still running my weights that I made back in my machinist days. Let's take the body off and check out what else we got going on. Brushless 2S Novak Goat. When I bought this kit, the 2S was the only one available, and then I think like 6 months to a year after that, they came out with the 3S system, but this is the only the 2S system. It's a pretty smooth system, but I will say that the drag brake can be something to be for lack of better words, it could be better. You'll see that in when I go to do the running portion of the video. Let's see what else we got going on here. Aluminum knuckles. Updated those. And then a very common thing to do, I'll look to see if we can get a good view of it. So right here, I countersunk the screws instead of having the button head sticking out. So that way when you go to full steer, you get that couple more degrees of steering. And with these old AX10 axles, any little bit of thing that you can do to get a couple more degrees of steering, hey, you're getting there. I used to make these link protectors. They're pretty easy to do. I didn't want to scuff up my pretty orange colors, so now you can go order some acrylic tube and put acrylic on it, and it'd be even more clear. But these were made out of old Bic pens, honestly, and it works fantastic. It doesn't gouge up the aluminum. It creates a better slide. It just makes it for better performance, honestly. I handmade the skid plate because before the SCX10, the links were actually mounted out here, and I made the plate so it brought everything inboard, and that made a huge performance difference in the geometry and the roll center. And this thing does pretty great. But a few years later, the SCX10 came out, and they were already kind of inboard, and honestly in about the same spot. But this is something I made. I wanted to keep it that way. So, and this is a flat skid on the bottom, and has been no reason to change it out. Let's see, the front shocks. I used old fuel tube and the stock bumpers to limit some of the travel, because these things were flexi boys. They would go 90 degrees without any issues. What else have we got going on here? I 4-linked the rear, and this is, honestly, it's a Red Cat upper link mount, because this was originally a 3-link, like in the front, but going to 4-link, it made it, the geometry was better, and it had less swing back and forth of the rear axle. Let's see, what else did I do? I moved the shocks inboard, because back in the day I didn't have the funds or whatever to get some softer springs, so I moved them inboard. And I think these are honestly Traxxas Stampede springs for the rear, and they're pretty stiff. And I think I'm running like 10,000 weight oil in the shocks. I don't remember. It's been so long since they've been open. But these are probably the only axial shocks that don't leak that I've run into anyway. Let's see what else. Oh, Proline chisels. I bought these tires brand new back in, I think, 2009, 2010 when they came out, and they're still good, still not dry rotted, and the compound is still just great. They comply. They're very soft. These tires are kind of hard to get if you can find them. I would suggest giving them a try if you're running on any 2.2s. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, this thing has a little bit of overdrive in the front, and because I didn't put any underdrive in the rear, but and it makes it overdriving in the front or underdriving depending on how you look at it. I look at it as if you have a nominal gear ratio, or let's say this was stock gears, you can go overdrive faster or slower than your original gearing. So you could call it overdrive or underdrive from your stock gear ratio. Or if you're, let's say you have a speed that you like, and then you want it to go faster or slower than that speed, you can either underdrive or overdrive one axle the other, and it won't affect your overall speed very much. Oh, let's see. Is there anything else? I think that's pretty well it on this guy. I had to dig out of a Amazon blue case just to get this thing running, because this thing hasn't been moved in years, and I didn't have a old school servo to put back in it besides what was in my other AX10. Let's go take it out to the rocks and go check it out.